I feel like I'm being interviewed because Nisha's got like the scarf and the glasses on. She just sat like, so, Mr. Smallwood.
Cold in here.
It's very chilly, yeah, so we're all wearing jackets. And I thought, I'm going to wear my Matrix Resurrections cringe jacket because it's leather and we're talking about Terminator 2. God, it annoys me so much that it's in the worst Matrix movie, which is saying a lot.
Isn't that the Keanu Reeves jacket that he wore in Matrix Resurrection?
It's the Matrix Resurrection cringe jacket. A lot of cool things happen in Terminator 2, most of which revolve around a man made of liquid metal trying to stab his way through half of Los Angeles. Arguably one of the most iconic moments in the film is when Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator, fires a shotgun one-handed from the back of a motorcycle. A shotgun that, it turns out, behind the scenes, nearly broke all of Arnold Schwarzenegger's fingers.
Did have a grudge against him or something?
It might as well have done, yes. So we're going to commit now a cardinal sin on YouTube. So if anyone out there wants any advice for creating content online, I'm going to give you a big pro tip. Never talk about guns. Never talk about guns, because the moment that you do, you open yourself up to being, corrected by people obsessed with guns. And people obsessed with guns are fucking weird.
Lucas should just bleep every time you say gun.
Because, how many times have we had people get really, really weird when we, use the terms and interchangeably? They're very different things. It's like, but you know what I mean. In fact, you know more than anyone else what I mean, because this is the kind of stuff you wank yourself off to. You know more than anyone else what I mean, and all you're doing is just bragging about the fact you have this really weirdly specific knowledge on something that no one should really care that much about.
The most recent example was when we talked about RoboCop's
his illegal crime.
I put a fact bar in with all of the
relevant information
about the US laws and stuff, and we made clear, the title is hyperbole.
Yeah.
Technically, it's not illegal, or they wouldn't be able to use it. And everyone's like, well, by the actual law definition of this and blah blah, this code.
You mean the thing we mentioned in the video where we talk about? So, short version of that video is that the gun that RoboCop uses is a heavily modified pistol that is modified to be basically fully automatic, which is a crime unless the can only fire blanks, or you do a number of changes to it. They're still going to correct me on that because people who are obsessed with are fucking weird. Do not try to interact with them online. You will never come out better off. It's a variation of that Mark Twain quote, isn't it? Of never argue with an idiot. They'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. It's like, don't argue with a weirdo obsessive online. They will drag you down to their level and then just beat you over the head with their... It's like, no, I don't care this much about One Piece. Stop it, Lucas, no. No, it's a joke. It's just that every time we do a Wiki Weekends, he'll bring up One Piece, and I'll say, I'm not watching 1,000 episodes of One Piece. And he'll go, Carl, what did you watch over Christmas? And he goes, I watched 40 episodes of Don't Tell the Bride. He's like, there you go.
I'm the same. There's so many animes and TV shows I've got on my list to watch, but I just don't want to start because there's too many episodes.
I think what gets him, though, is that I will watch really bad TV. Like my most recent obsession is Obsessive Compulsive Cleaners, where they send people with OCD into the House of Hoarders. I just really like really bad reality TV. And he's like, why are you watching this? There's 1,000 episodes of One Piece here and they're all amazing. I'm like, but I want to see a person clean up dog poo.
I think my bad TV show that I've watched recently was Four in a Bed.
Oh, Four in Bed's so good. I love Four in Bed so much.
We're basically lots of couples go around to each other's B&Bs and rate their...
Yes, I love that. That and Come Dine With Me, I refer to as One Piece for unemployed people, because they're just shows that exclusively get shown at 4 p.m. on a weekday, and they're so good. What's your favourite one? What's your favourite moment in... is it the guy when he eats the whisk?
Verdict?
Perfect.
What a sad little life, Jane, obviously.
Enjoy the money. I hope it makes you very happy. Dear Lord, what a sad little life, Jane. But I hope now you spend it on getting some lessons in grace and decorum, because you have all the grace of a reversing dump truck without any tyres on.
So let's set the scene here. So Come Dine With Me and Four in a Bed are basically the same premise for a show, just one's focused on making a meal, one's focused on just hosting someone an Airbnb, not an Airbnb, a bed and breakfast. And And the prize is like £400. So, and the people obviously, and £400 is a lot of money to a lot of people, but not to people who can put on a dinner party for 12 people 4 times in a week. Same as like the people who own like a hotel. And just the level of salt you get. And one of my favourite episodes is that one, which you mentioned when a guy just really salty that he didn't win the dinner party. And there's this other one where there's a woman on it, and it's just the kind of person where, like Joe, when I mentioned earlier, like, you just don't want to talk to like someone who's like obsessed with. It's the kind of person where everything you say to them is taken as an offence. And it's this blonde lady, and hopefully, like Lucas, when he's doing the edit, can find the clip, because I've made him find the clip before. Because but basically, like, it's a dinner party, play like some icebreaker games, and like they do a thing like, what animal do you think I'm like? And obviously, you don't want to say anything too bad, so it's like one of the ladies is trying to be really polite. It's like, no, tell me what animal you think I'm like. What animal do you think I'm like? She goes, a lizard?
I want to be a cougar or something. Nice. Lizard. What? You going to say a frog?
Oh no, absolutely. I wouldn't be as nasty as say a frog. I was thinking more of a praying mantis.
That's the thing, you can tell this woman, she doesn't want to answer the question. And this blonde lady does not let it go. And the thing about Come Dine With Me is, you've got to do 5 episodes. You've got to do everyone else's house, and every episode you see she gets more and more drunk at each one, and just keeps picking at this thing, and keeps bringing up this thing from like 4 weeks earlier of like, well, I guess I wouldn't notice that with my lizard eyes. And you see everyone at the table like go,
Oh, I'm big enough to take your all on, pet. I ain't asked.
Oh, I'm not interested in that, but you've apparently just...
Go on then, have a go.
A go?
Bring it on.
I don't want to have a go at you.
and just that kind of person just does not let it go. And it's amazing, and that's why I'm not watching One Piece. We've all interacted with those kind of people, haven't we, where just you'll say something and like, what do you mean by that? I think it's in Goodfellas, isn't it? It's the what's the actor's name now? Joe Pesci. Where it's like you're a funny guy. What do you mean funny? So you're a funny guy. Funny how? That kind of person, but real. And it's like just at a dinner party where you win £100, and it's like, why do you care this much? Anyway, bring it back to Terminator 2 and that shit. Do you happen to know exactly what was?
Oh, the only name I remember is the Spas 12 gauge.
It's not one of those, no. It's a Winchester repeater. And the one featured in the film, the hero prop that Arnold Schwarzenegger does, that's super cool, the flip reload. The thing everyone knows, the thing that's in Call of Duty, the thing that's in every game featuring that like that flip reload thing, it had an artificially lengthened lever to allow Arnold Schwarzenegger to do that, because while it is technically possible to reload an ordinary repeater in that way, doing so would be stupid, because like the first thing you probably know, like we don't handle much in the UK, but you probably know, don't fuck around with them. So especially don't try and flip them around like a jackass. That's probably like the first thing they teach you. If you went to a range, I imagine the first thing they teach you after, like, always treat every like it's loaded is, don't piss around.
Just don't point it at people.
Don't point it, but enjoy what really facilitates pointing at a lot of people at once? Whoa, spinning it around like an idiot.
So you're saying that Revolver Ocelot was being really dangerous when he was showing off his skill?
Doing it like the Makarov, which I think it is a Makarov, because I played that game enough. And just Snake walks up and just puts a knife to his throat and says, do you want to try a revolver, less likely to jam? And he's like, yes, I will base my entire personality on this. Just like Men Online. And I guess we've got to give props to, there's that guy on YouTube who did the full Revolver Ocelot spinning routine. And it does look really cool. And so you think if they were loaded, he'd probably shot his dick off 4 times. And I guess, Lucas, please for the edit as well, please put the clip in of Revolver Ocelot fighting off bees by spinning his and hitting the bees while spinning his Anyway, so as I mentioned, that action is normally physically impossible for a regular person with a regular repeater. So they had to heavily customize the prop version that Arnold Schwarzenegger used on film. And the whole point of Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator being able to do that cool ass reload is to show that the Terminator is stronger than an average man. Because anyone familiar with, which I'm guessing is a lot of people watching this video to see if we make any mistakes, is that would be physically impossible for someone who doesn't have superhuman strength and control over their body and the weapon itself, which the Terminator would do. There are people out there who can do it, and there's people who similarly customize their own versions of this weapon, or similar Winchester pulls that cool like lever action reload thing, which is the coolest way to reload a because I love playing like Red Dead for that.
Or is it the double reload from The Rock in
That's good as well.
the Jungle?
Like, any other favourite foo moments from a movie?
I mean, Equilibrium's the classic. Like, for some reason, the capture in that film, in air quotes, works. Even though they just walk around just waving their arms.
Did you not know if you just Dante hard enough, you'll increase your shooting power by like 40%? So they have like the graph, don't they? Like, by analysing all angles of combat at once, a cleric can improve their combat efficiency by 40%. And all you see is them just going, whoa, 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 just like interpretive dance.
I mean, speaking of Dante, there's the one where Dante shoots the sword.
Oh yeah, he shoots his own sword. Yeah. Don't forget when he shoots at his brother Virgil, who refused to use because he's a weeb. You shoot at him, and he catches them with his sword, lies them all out on the floor in a perfect line, and flicks them back with his sword. Because edge. You also have Lady, who does one of my favourite things that people can do who like rely on, which is just throw the away. And there's an entire like cutscene of her fighting demons, and she just keeps throwing the away, then she runs out of ammo. So she fires a rocket launcher, which blows all the into the air, and then reloads them as they land on the ground. Oh, any favourite moments, Nisha? I know you don't watch many action films, but
because you're talking about using in games as well. Like, it just makes me think of how shit I am with guns in games. Like, I play GTA, I love GTA, but I cannot do a mission. First time when it includes shooting a lot of people.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I'd rather do a tactic of sneaking up behind someone.
Yeah, talking about like, bad etiquette. One of the things that you can I miss Grand Theft Auto 4 specifically. No, Grand Theft Auto 4 where if an enemy died and dropped their there was a chance that the would go off, which isn't a thing that happens in real life. Fun fact, because during movies where someone drops a and it goes off, that is not a thing. Do you know why it's not a thing? Because if that was a thing, no one would buy that. Because if went off when they like landed on the ground randomly, that would not be a very good. Like, say for example, it's in your back pocket and you like sit down and it's got a safety on. But the thing is, people think that it does, so when they drop a they try and catch it, which more often than not results in them hitting the trigger and then shooting themselves. But in Grand Theft Auto 4, randomly could go off. I'll never forget when I was fighting like some cops, because you know I'm not a pussy like Elon Musk. I don't mind shooting the police in Grand Theft Auto. I shot a police officer in the leg. You don't know that? Elon Musk said he don't want to play Grand Theft Auto 6 because he couldn't play GTA 5. So you have to kill the police.
It's not real. It's a game.
Yeah. Also, it's the police in a Grand Theft Auto game. Fuck 'em. But I shot this police officer in the leg. You said that weird like Euphoria engine. The police officer like did that weird stumbling thing that Nico would sometimes do. Like fell over, dropped his and his went off and hit him in the head. And I don't know why that cracked me up. So it's like that's an American police officer, all right.
One of my favourite memories, I always remember this, was like when I started playing it as Vice City, and I was being chased by the police, and this copper, like, he pointed his at me, and I was just like, I don't know why I said copper.
This copper, the Rozzers, and he's fucking copper, right?
Like Jason Statham.
It just felt right at the time. But he pointed his at me, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get like arrested. And then this police car just came out of nowhere and just mowed him down.
Yeah.
And he went flying, and I could not stop laughing.
You know, the funniest thing about this video is that the are here and they're in the video watching it. We're not talking about the.
Yeah, we'll go back to that, but I'll say, like, Lucas, just, you know, one last clip to put in if you can find it. Is that, like, police officer who falls off the back of a riot truck, completely empty street, and just panics and fires pepper spray in a big circle around him and pepper sprays himself, and everyone's just laughing as it happens. It's like, that guy should not have, you know what you say, not having a gun, that guy should not have access to weaponry. But anyway, okay, bring it back to that Terminator. As mentioned, there was a prop version that had, like, you know, a specially lengthened lever that would allow Arnold Schwarzenegger to do that maneuver, and he did practice it extensively behind the scenes so that he could do so effortlessly, because the Terminator wouldn't need to, like, try to do that, because it's a super strong robot that is a master of all forms of conventional combat. Similarly, like, you know, Robert Patrick, we talked before about him, where he did all the training, where there's that great scene, that literal great where he's chasing like John Connor the Terminator, where he fires all the out the all the I'm gonna say both so we piss off everyone. Reloads and then fires like an entire more he empties the again. Gonna use both to piss everyone. Just make up words, yeah. And he blinks once. And someone mentioned that to Robert Patrick, went, yeah, I'm pissed off because I tried not to. Well, there's a take where I didn't blink at all, but they used the other one. It's like, damn it! So you can see he learned to fire thousands and thousands of out of thousands and thousands of. That's the thing.
Nickels.
Whatever, yeah. He did. He used the a lot so that he would. He used the a lot so he wouldn't blink when he was doing it. And as a result, they were both pretty confident in their abilities to manipulate the props in such a way. But that wasn't the only prop on set. So what do you think happened?
Broke his hand.
He did. So there you go. So I'm going to set the scene up now, Brad. So Arnold Schwarzenegger practiced doing this very specific maneuver with this very specific prop that was customized in a very specific way to allow this maneuver to happen. There were multiple versions of the gun.
Did they give him the wrong one?
They didn't give him the wrong one.
He took the wrong one.
He picked up the wrong one to show off.
Oh.
So there's a behind-the-scenes story.
Were you aware that there was a special one made, or did he just think that he could do it with any...
It wasn't really... it's unclear. But there's a behind-the-scenes bit of the commentary of, on certain, releases of the film, where James Cameron talks about how Arnold Schwarzenegger just, walked over to the set of props and didn't realise that that was the hero one for just, close-ups. People don't know what a hero prop is, the one that's the most realistic looking for close-ups and things like that. And it wasn't the prop one he'd been using the entire day. So he walked up to it and tried to do the show-off your maneuver and then broke every bone in his hand almost and had to go to hospital. Yeah, and that's how Arnold Schwarzenegger nearly broke his hand dressed as the Terminator.
Really? Because I thought that was 2 minutes of Arnold Schwarzenegger and 8 minutes of come dine with me and movie.
My favourite comments we always get to the point in the video, and it's like, if you want the one-sentence version of it, go to fucking BuzzFeed.
Also, if you want just the facts, go read the article it's based on. Where every single one of these videos is based on an article that has just the facts.
The thing is that I don't believe when people say you stop wasting my time, it's like you're in the comments section of a YouTube video, you don't value your own time. As people can see here, I've got the Blu-ray copy of Terminator 2 Judgment Day right here. And that's because I wanted to own the highest possible quality version of this film, one of my favourite films of all time. So, I wanted to ask you guys, and audience at home, if you one of people moaning about all the stuff we got wrong about, we don't give a shit. What is a piece of media, film, TV show, video game, anything that you would want to have in the absolute best quality possible?
Well, I did have a couple of answers why I just have a joke answer. It came into my head.
Yeah, let's know.
You know that Saturday Night Live skit?
Oh, just the Hey Mother. Hey, get that upscale to HD.
I think, yeah, I'd like to see that in HD.
You get the raw footage of that in HD, which is an amazing, and it still holds up.
Then 2 cops will read this letter and shoot each other. Now, isn't that the most ridiculous thing you...
It holds up more so than almost any other SNL skit, and it lets you realise, wow, Andy Samberg and the Lonely Island guys were way fucking funnier than almost anyone else at SNL because every single one of their skits is gold. It's like there's just a couple of those early SNL skits, usually with the Lonely Island guys, that are just fantastic.
Well, yeah, the Timberlake and Sandberg stuff was bought from them. Yeah, that's amazing.
But a serious answer, I think any sort of film with really nice visual effects, like a film I like to watch.
I've got something behind this one to to show you that, Nisha. So.
I mean, a couple of examples is I really like the film Limitless, which is with Bradley Cooper.
That does have a lot of weird, interesting visual effects.
Yeah, the world opening up.
Yeah, because there's a bit where he takes the drug and everything gets brighter and more defined. It's like, imagine that in Ultra HD.
That could be a fun one, yeah, that's an interesting pick. But yeah, now I think about it, there is a lot of weird and interesting cinematography and visual effects in that, especially to showcase his abilities. Of I can remember everything except to pay off the drug dealer I owe $100,000 to. And I do like that idea as well of these lesser known things. Obviously it's a pretty well received movie, but it's not what the first pick people would have, and I love stuff like that, which is why I have, in addition to having Terminator 2 on Blu-ray, I've got something that I guess it is a popular pick for people to watch in the highest possible quality, but I was surprised at how easy it was to obtain and how cheap it was, and that is Planet Earth, which is what I watched over Christmas. I just watched the most HD Giraffes you've ever seen, and I was surprised it cost £2. 550 minutes of HD Giraffes, £2.
It's not all giraffes, is it?
It's not old, but do you know what I mean? Like, the highest possible quality thing.
I watched Planet Earth, but I didn't know you had such an obsession with the giraffe.
But I just wanted the most, like, you know, high quality version of that series possible, and I got it for £2. And the idea that, like, I thought that'd be so, like, that'd be difficult to obtain. So I'm like, yeah, it's like this big, huge box set of, like, you know, all this amazingly shot, like, animal footage. Like, some of it's, like, unique and never been seen before. It's this, like, landmark moment of television, one of the best, like, documentaries ever made. £2.
I mean, I guess it is available on streaming services. I guess maybe that diminishes the price, but it's still, like you said, 50-odd hours of incredibly... think about how difficult it was to make.
Exactly, yeah. And it has a load of behind-the-scenes footage, that is stuff you've never seen before. And all, like, the extra stuff, and then, the director's commentary from David Attenborough, interviews with people making it. £2. And then, Nisha, you mentioned special effects. So, this is one I got tricked into buying. Because there is, and I swear they must be lying.
I thought this was Thing prequel then.
No, there is, like, because when I got my, like, PlayStation 4, I bought a bunch of Blu-rays. And I thought, well, I'm going to go online and find what films people think are, like, in the best quality. Like, people mentioned Terminator 2. The effects in that still hold up, so I bought that. People mentioned, like, animal documentaries, so I've got a couple more of those. Like, I've got Alien and stuff like that. And this one mentioned Speed Racer. Apparently, Speed Racer is one of the best-looking movies ever made.
Oh, that, I think I know.
Yeah, Nisha's face says it all. It fucking sucks. It's terrible. And I fell for it. And Lucas has also fallen for this because he bought it too. Or, like, he was, like, someone coming to buy it and he tried to watch it. It's fucking terrible. And do you want to guess who it's made by? The visionary creators of the Matrix trilogy. It's another shitty Wachowski movie where they trick people into thinking it's good. And I was like, no, in the comments now. It's an anime. It looks like an old anime. No, it doesn't. It's completely weightless. The effects all look terrible. The acting is fucking awful because everyone's taking it too seriously. It's not camp. Do you know, like Speed Racer? It's like, oh, I will drive real fast and save my father. That's like what people think of Speed Racer. They take it deadly serious. And how long would you want a 90-minute, almost entirely CG, based on a 60s anime movie to be? How long would you want that movie to be?
You just said 90 minutes at the start of your description.
Sorry, that was a mistake. I was talking about, but how long would you want a movie like that to be? I'd want it to be 90 minutes, but what about you? I want it to, a tight 90 minutes, and I want, big opening action scene, bit of exposition dialogue, some in-jokes, some, corny dialogue and some cheesy acting, ending action scene, smash cut to credits, 90 minutes, bish bosh, job done.
You want 1 hour 20 to 1 hour 40. That's your decent standard length of movie.
But how long would you want this movie to be?
That specific movie?
Yeah.
Probably 1 hour and 10 minutes.
It's 135 minutes long. It is 2 hours, 15 minutes long, and 15 minutes of that is the speed racing. The other 2 hours is just bad special effects that are weightless and have... Do you know those early effects where everything just has that weird sheen to it? Yeah. It's all that, and it's people doing bad acting, not even in a funny way, and it's 2 hours long.
So 2 hours of Scorpion King CGI. Yeah.
And then and every time I bring this up, so no, it looks really good. You just don't get it. It's no, I get it. I get that it's supposed to look like an anime, but the original anime fucking looked terrible.
But did it actually look decent then?
No, it looks shit.
So it looks shit, it is shit, the acting is shit, the story's
shit. The directing's terrible, the cinematography is terrible.
Man, you got conned, mate. Why did you buy it?
And every time I bring this up, someone's like, no, it's actually really good. And then you keep getting people, it's this forgotten gem. It's like, no, it's forgotten for a reason. This is not a forgotten gem. It sucks. It's terrible. Lucas put in a clip.
I don't know why I'm doing it anymore.
You don't climb into a T-180 to be a driver. You do it because you're driven.
And I feel bad to keep making Lucas put in clips of stuff he doesn't want to watch. But, goddamn, what about you, Brad, before we end?
Well, I have two ideas. I was going to jokingly say as well, Power Rangers movie.
That'd be good. I'd like to see that, remastered.
But I think the obvious one that obviously a lot of people in the comments will say is the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Stop making your personality Lord of the Rings.
No, but the reason why
they're okay movies. Stop making it your entire personality. I've annoyed so many guys online.
But the reason why I'd select that one is also just to clarify, that's not my personality. He's talking to the audience.
Yeah.
No, the reason why I picked that one is because of how much of it was done practically.
Yes.
So I think that's the kind of thing that will look very good if...
Lord of the Rings is more interesting as a documentary on how Lord of the Rings was made than the films are.
But my choice would be 2005 King Kong.
Yeah, those effects still hold up.
Yeah, because they spent so long making the gorilla look decent. And, well, I mean, some of the effects are wang.
The sound effects though on that gorilla sliding across the ice, that gorilla slide tech.
But the bit where Jack Black runs away from dinosaurs, that doesn't hold very well.
You know what? The camera stops, so Lucas just have bad clips of the CGI on. But cheers, everybody. See you all next time.